Welcome to Project 5, and today we're going to learn how to calculate how many brick and how much mortar that we need to make an estimation on putting this brick veneer around this home. Now, a brick veneer is in a residential structure or commercial. Brick veneer, what veneer means is just a cover up. Okay, it doesn't have any structural load to it. And on this residential little structure we're building here, um, basically all we're going to do is we're going to calculate surface area to figure out how much surface area this wall is, length times width, and as well as this one over here. And you can see it's just a rectangle or a cube. This one's actually a cube. So what you do to one side would be the same on the other. So we just figure two sides and we have the same width. It would be the same thing on a rectangle if you had that. But we're kind of jumping ahead of ourselves here in calculating this, but since we're in masonry clay units, or clay masonry units, that's brick, we're going to go ahead and show you how to do this calculations. Alright, this one, I don't have any doors or windows in this thing yet, so you don't have to worry about, on this one, subtracting any surface area, but if you did have a window or door, you just have to get the measurement of that window and door and then subtract it from your overall surface area. Okay, it's no big deal. You're just finding surface area. So, first thing I want to do is get some calculations. Remember, to get the surface area of this, I need length times width. So, this is my length and this will be my width for this project. So, I'm going to go to level 4. And again, don't forget, this is going to be a two-part video. Okay? But anyhow, we're gonna zoom in here real quick, and what you're gonna see is you see these extension lines. They're 20 foot by 20 foot. It is a perfect square, but this is looking down on this house from a plan view, looking straight down on top of it from a bird's eye view. And what you're looking at is these walls if you're looking straight down on it. And this right here, this heavy black line that I'm using my cursor to hover over, that's my, I'm using a 1/2 inch sheetrock or gypsum board in this house. This area here is my 2x4 wall studs. This little section right here, the two little lines here, that's my exterior wall board or insulation, or rigid insulation. And this little space in here is my airspace between my exterior wallboard and my brick, and this is my brick out here, and you see how it's hatched. Okay, now what you're seeing is this dimension always goes to the exterior wallboard of the load bearing structure. Okay, this is a brick veneer. It has nothing to do with load bearing, so always your dimensions go to the edge. And sometimes in prints you don't even have your brick showing on your floor plan, but this one I do. But just remember, your dimensions are always of the structural framing part of the house, and it goes to your exterior wallboard. Now we got to calculate up from this point to this point, and to do so we got to figure out what type of brick are we using. And we're using in this one standard modular brick, just modular brick, and it is the most heavily used brick out there. And if you'll open up your Word document, you have this chart, and you see modular brick. You got all kinds of brick as you look down through here, but modular brick's what we're using. And this is a nominal dimension. Remember, nominal, this one's, it says 4 by 2 3/4 by 8 inches. Just remember, that's nominal. Actual dimensions are going to be, the width of this thing is going to be 3 5/8, because you got to calculate for that 3/8 mortar joint that we're going to use. And 3/8 is typical mortar joint that you'll use. You can also use a half, but 3/8 is the most typical. Just the reasons being is that's what the brick is designated for, or the block. Alright, with that said, we'll jump back in here, and we need to go ahead and calculate up this length. If it's 20 foot, I want to be out here, so we got 1 inch airspace in between here, and that would be 20 foot 2 inches. And then if you add in 2 brick widths, that's 3 5/8. There's 2 of those. So let's do a calculation on this really quick. It'd be 20. I'm sorry about that. Let's figure up our inches in this thing first. 3 5/8, 3.625 is 5/8. We've got to times that by 2 because there's 2 bricks. Plus 2 airspaces, which are 1 inch apiece, will be 2 inches. So 9.25. So this thing's going to be 20 foot 9.25 inches. But remember, we need to make sure this is in feet. We need to keep the same unit. So how do you calculate inches to feet? You just take 9.25 and you divide it by 12 inches. So we can go ahead and write that in. 20.77. 20.77 feet. Okay? That would be from corner to corner. Alright? The next thing we need to do is figure out what this one is. And since we went to the edge on this, we don't have to come all the way up here to the top. We need to actually stop right at this, right here at the end. So it's going to be real simple because we got 20 foot. Only thing we have to add in this one is just an airspace. Okay, so that would be 2 inches plus 20 foot plus 2 inches. And again, we need to calculate what 2 inches is in feet. We divide it by 12, it's 0.166. So, of course, let's do put our text here. So it's going to be 20.167 feet. Okay? Alright. So we got those 2 measurements. And remember, what you're doing, if it's a rectangle or square, it doesn't matter. You just need to do 2 sides. We'll do this one, it'll be the same as over here. This one will be the same as over here, and we'll have this thing complete. Alright, we've got our lengths, now we need our widths. And to do that, we're going to look at an east elevation. I'm going to save this real quick. And I'm going to look at the east elevation. When I do this, you're looking at, this is the footer. This is the actual brick on the building. And what BOF means, bottom of footer. It's 1 foot thick footer. TOF is top of footer, and I have that as my 0 level. These are levels here, guys. And this is my top of my foundation wall, 2 foot 8 inch. If for some reason you wanted to see that, let me show you here. This right here, my footer. This is my foundation wall. This is, you don't really notice it right now. This is my wall board right here. And my wall board is the exterior wall board, and then these are my studs right here. This is what's actually holding the building up. This is, again, is just my brick veneer that I have over top of our wood, and it's got 1 inch airspace. So again, the height of this is what we come in here to get. So if you're 0 level here, we're going up here to this level, top of double plate. It's 10 foot and 11 inches. Right there you go, guys. 10 foot and 11 inches is what it is. So I'm going to go back to level 4, and I'm going to type that in. We'll say height, but it's actually, we're calculating for width here. Our height is 10 foot and 11 inches. Okay, but again, we need to make this all in feet. To do that, you just take your 11, you divide it by 12, 9.17. So it's going to be 10 foot, 9.17. 10.917 feet. So guys, we've got everything we need here. We got our calculations ready to roll, and let's figure this thing up. Real quick, let's do this side over here. 20.167 times 10.917 equals 220.16. 220.16, and that's going to be feet squared. Now we'll do it again up here. 20.77 times 10.917, and it's going to be 226.75 is what I'll put in there. I'm just going to round up. 775 feet squared. And that right there, guys, is on those two sides. Only thing we have to do is calculate. This would have to be doubled because it's on both sides. This will be doubled. It's on both sides. And as soon as you do that, you got her all figured up. So I'm going to take this 226.75 and times it by 2. So I get 453. 453.49. Then you take this 220.16 times it by 2, and you're going to get 440.32. Alright, so now we'll just take and add these two together. Plus 453.49. So, in total, we have 893.81. 93.91 square feet of materials that we need. 81. I put 91. Okay?